This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 57 of the Healthy Critters Radio on Horse Radio Network. Healthy Critters Radio is brought to you by Biostar US. Find them online at biostarus.com.
On today's show, we share tips about building a better barn. The breed of the show is the Mini Rex Rabbit. In Critter Nutrition, we learn the importance of ethics and transparency. And in Coffee Klatch, we ask, what kind of vehicle is your dog? Let's join us.
Oh, it's going to be a good show, girls.
So we're going to have a roundtable discussion on tips for building a better barn, the do's and the don'ts. Patty and I and Jennifer have been in a lot of barns, have worked out of a lot of barns, and we just kind of want to pass on some tips. If you're thinking about building a barn or remodeling your barn, this is what we have learned along the way. Mm-hmm. Patty P?
Yes, I have a lot of opinions about this. So would you like each one as we go along, or do you want it all at once?
All at once.
Okay. Well, obviously, Tigger, as you know, we built a barn years ago in Virginia, and one of the things that I wanted to do is to make it very convenient. If for some reason it was a 20-stall barn, make it very convenient. If for some reason Peter and I got stuck down there because it's down a mile driveway in the snow and had to do it ourselves. Oddly enough, I didn't realize that was foreshadowing to being 9 months pregnant with Hannah and having to do 20 stalls. That's a whole other story. But so one of the things that I wanted to try to make the barn was make it be very easy. And so for me, several big things are, of course, airflow in the barn, making sure there's space above the stall so it's not, especially being in Houston, that it's not hot. So there's a nice big roof span and a way to either put fans up there, like aisleway fans or whatever, but a nice, breeze for the above the stall. The indoor location. Some people don't like it to be truly attached to the barn. I loved how it was at Farfield, Tiggs, where you still could be undercover, but it wasn't necessarily attached to the barn. Mm-hmm. But somehow close enough. Where I am right now, it is a huge distance. And if you get caught in a storm, which happens a lot here in Houston, you're stuck under this metal building and you can't get back to the barn. So I like to make sure that whole piece of that kind of works together really well. Stall doors. I love being able to have stall doors where there's not wood at the bottom. So when you walk by, if a horse is laying down, or you can always see their legs or see where they are and know that they're, just without having to go in and look, just, doing a graze through the barn. You know what I'm talking about? The kind of, not the ones like at Lexington, but where the bars are, they have them, they're metal.
That mesh. Yes.
Or mesh. Yeah. Something where you can just peek
right
in. Yeah. Was one of the things that we liked, and that there was a horseshoer area. We had 20 horses going or in this barn, so we had 2 wash stalls, but one of them had a door that opened up that got the horseshoer out of the sun, so he could pull back up and work in and out where he didn't have to be out exposed, and it was a concrete area because obviously it's incredibly important that you don't shoe on unlevel surfaces. And last but not least, a driveway big enough to turn around with a tractor trailer. If you have horses coming, you never know when you're going to get a horse delivered. One of my biggest, scariest fears is someone getting a horse. And this happens, as you know, Tigger, all the time in Wellington, where they have to unload horses on a road.
Yeah.
And so I just like a big parking lot. It seems like a wasted amount of space, but it isn't. It doesn't have to be a big parking lot, but just something where somebody can turn and pull around.
One of the things I learned about being at a barn with you, Patty, was the barn builder put the automatic waters on an outside stall.
Yeah, that was a classic.
If you're going to use automatic waters, put them on the inside.
Yes.
And definitely don't put them on the back outside uninsulated wall.
No. Yeah, that would be dumb.
That
That's what we experienced.
And I'm not a fan of automatic waters.
I was going to say, I just don't even go there anymore.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
I like the horses to see each other.
Tigger, tell the listeners why we don't like them.
Well, you don't know how much they're drinking.
Right.
Now you can get automatic waterers that have a meter on them.
This barn had that.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it didn't work.
They were all broken.
They were all broken. Yeah. There you go.
Well, but I mean, it wasn't, from our standpoint, one of the number one things is making sure they get plenty of water. And you just don't know. Plus, I will also tell you, and this happened because we did put automatic waterers in the barn that we built in Virginia. To heat them it's extraordinarily expensive. But if hay gets caught in it, the other barn at Farfield, Tigger, I don't know if you remember this. They started smoking.
What?
Yeah, and so there's
that sounds like a poor design to me. Yeah, that's not good.
They're all Nelson Waterers, which is a very, I don't mean to be critical, but I also, I had a horse that was electrocuted to death on one, and
that would make
I'm
you
not
shy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I have worked in a number of barns with automatic waterers of various brands and vintages, and they are troublesome in that they really do require a lot of maintenance. You have to keep after them. You have to repair them. When the horse is beat up on them, you have to fix them. And if you're not willing to put in that time to really, really keep after them, you are better off with just a bucket. It's pretty low tech and it's hard to break versus a waterer, And that's the biggest problem I had, is that whenever we had automatic waterers, and we have them here, is you have to be extremely diligent. You can't just go, oh, look, the waterer is, it's working, like we have the ones in our pastures. You tip it out, you scrub it out, and you drop it back down. You can't just drop it down and walk away. You have to drop it down, make sure the valve is functioning, and then make sure the valve turns itself off. Because each time you flip those things over, it's an opportunity for it to go awry.
Right. Yeah.
So you're right. They are very troublesome. I've had the small stall size one that's basically a bowl. It looks like a bowl you mix pancake mix in. I've had those in pastures, and the thing I really, really didn't like about that is if it does break, whatever horse is in that field has exactly a half a gallon of water. Right. Versus the kind of waterers we have in our pastures here are designed for a pasture, in that when they're functioning properly, there's 25 gallons of water in it. So if it does stop working, at least there's 25 gallons of water, which is going to last the horse until I walk out there next in the evening. So that's definitely stuff you want to think about. If worst case scenario, how is that waterer going to function for you? Is it going to supply the horse what he needs to have? Yeah. Critical thinking.
I really am getting to dislike these stalls, with the exception of for stallions, that are like cell blocks.
Yeah. Because
I think horses desperately need to look at each other and see each other. And I really hate when they are just shut in and the only access they have is a sliding front door that leads them out into, the corridor. And so for me, they need to be able to see each other, and they need a big back window, a double Dutch door. Open it up so they can hang their head out and be a horse.
Amen to that.
It's so important to reduce their stress.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. Now, on the flip side of that, I have come across, and over the years have had more trouble with stalls that are built so that the dividing wall between the stalls is wood on the bottom and bars on the top.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because the horse never feels like he has privacy during mealtime. I've seen some barns designed so that the front half of that dividing wall is solid, and then the back half is barred or screened so that they have the opportunity to visit with their neighbors. But when they are in the front of the stall, or vice versa, if you put your feed buckets in the back, they have that opportunity to not have somebody staring at them while they eat. Because I think A lot of horse stress at mealtime is associated with that process where they always feel like they have to defend their feed bucket from their neighbor. So if given the opportunity, I would always design it so that where the feed tub is, they don't have to look at anybody.
Right.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's sacred.
It's sacred. Yes, the feed bucket is sacred. And on the topic of bars in the stalls, if you can fit your fist between the bars in the stall, they're too far apart. I don't care what size hand you have. They're too far apart. I've had 2 different horses get legs stuck between those bars.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about bars.
And it can be deadly.
Oh, yeah.
And So if you have the opportunity to build your barn from scratch, make sure you're building a barn with no more than 3 inches between those bars or a fist. Another thing to look out for is don't put most of the time it's standard 4 feet high and then the bars start. Sorry, go 5 feet high. Horses are bigger than they used to be when these things were designed 75 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's another bugaboo of mine when it comes to stall bars. So think about those things.
Those are good.
Bars. Grr.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I like them to see each other, and there are other ways of
right. Yeah,
they're great, useful, but you have to be careful because they're not all made to the same standard. Because horses are bigger than they used to be.
Yeah, they sure are.
Where do you guys fall on ventilation in barns? What's your method? Your favorite? Your worst nightmare?
In a hot climate, I want a high roof.
Yep, absolutely.
A hot air to go up and away from the horses. In New England, I would want a winter barn and a summer barn. And the winter barn would be snug, tight, low roof, so that the heat doesn't escape. And then the horses would move in the summer to their nice, airy summer barn.
There's a whole new barn. I like that. Yeah.
Or you just go to Florida in the winter, and then you don't have to worry about
and then you just have a regular summer barn.
Yeah.
But if you live in the tropics or Texas, you've got to have a barn that is really got a tall roof.
Oh, and open and plenty of airflow.
Easy.
Yeah.
This is something when it comes to how hot your barn does or doesn't get that I discovered when I moved here to Florida, is that the direction your barn faces
big
huge
difference
down here in the
Huge.
south. Now up north, we always say you have to have your barn face south because of the prevailing winds and the cold.
Right.
Well, down here you best better not have the long end of your barn because barns tend to be long and skinny. Don't have the long end of your barn face west. Because the horses
God, we wouldn't do that in Virginia either.
The horses on the west side of the barn get cooked because guess where my horses are? On the west side of the barn.
Yeah.
And something I discovered that not only does it get very, very hot, when it comes to flies in your barn, regardless of how clean you keep your barn, there's going to be flies. It's what happens.
Yeah, of course.
Different types of flies like shade versus sun. And the type of fly that likes to hang out on your horse's face, which do not bite, but they hang out on your horse's face and give him watery eyeballs, like sun. So if your barn faces west, those stalls are going to be inundated with flies.
That's good info. That's good.
Yeah, that is good info.
The people who make the fly predators, whose name doesn't come to mind off the top of my head, the original fly predator people, have fantastic information on their website about flies, about what flies do, behavior, what types of flies do what. And I went on there surfing for fly predators one day and got to reading about flies and went, oh, really? The kind of flies that like to actually bite your horse are not sunshine specific. So they're going to also hang out in slightly shady areas versus the ones that like faces really don't care for shade, which is why fly masks work, even though they're not tight, because the fly doesn't want to curl into the shade under the fly mask. So if you've got a barn already, figure out ways to create shade by planting fast-growing shrubs or using shade cloth, which is really a very inexpensive way to create shade in a hurry. Just Google shade cloth. It's really easy.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. So those are two things you can do. Or if you're building your barn, take the time to learn where the sun is at what times of day. It's okay if you get evening sunshine in the winter, but you really don't want evening sunshine in the summer. So
No.
take those all into consideration. And then install a big ass fan, my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, they're huge down here.
Yeah. Please send us a check, big ass fans.
Yes, please.
The $5 you owe me.
Yes.
And let us know what your tips for building a better barn are at healthycritters.com.
Yes.
Hello.
Greetings,
Hetty.
Hedwig.
Hello, Tickle. And Patty. And Jennifer.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, thank God it's Jennifer, not that Glenn.
We wouldn't
I
want to
don't
put
know.
you through that, Hedwig. We
Yeah. No.
I struggle with Glenn, you know.
wouldn't. He can cause that kind of a reaction in a lot of people as well as dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's prejudiced against Pomeranians.
Mm.
Which is not to be confused with Panamanians.
No, different altogether.
I think he might feel inferior and thus defensive.
Well, that does happen. When
Yeah.
people are feeling insecure, they strike out, and sometimes it's to just a cute little chippy,
Yeah.
cheese-loving chip.
It's elementary psychology, but one must appreciate that he's probably relatively limited.
He is very limited by his humanity, yes.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
sad, but
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
but true.
That's- oh gosh,
Well,
that's funny.
as humans, Hedwig, I'm sure you're aware, we love to watch our television sets. Or
the clicking box.
Or the clicking box. We love to watch that. It's one of our favorite things to do. And I'm sure occasionally you've sat and you've watched your servant human watch their clicking box. And you've probably got some programs that you're used to your human watching. Is there a character on that clicker box that you would either love to be or you would wish would disappear off the airwaves?
Well, this is an interesting query for sure. You know, as a rule, I find television to lower my intelligence level. But, I mean, if we could take a moment, imagine lowering the servant's intelligence level. It's already so disappointingly low. But, I mean, I think maybe the show Buffy as a Vampire Slayer. I think there was a character I liked very much, and I would like to be that character. Yes, Spike, the vampire.
Oh. Okay.
First of all, he had fabulous hair, and I have fabulous hair, so we have a lot in common.
A
Secondly,
lot
he
in
was
common.
very funny, and he sang an amazing rock solo in the musical episodes that I admired tremendously. Plus, he had an attractive black coat and sometimes pants. So that was very nice. And, I mean, other than some awkward and embarrassing moments in season 6, he was a pretty great guy. Oh, and he killed himself to save the world. So that was good.
Okay.
I
Wow,
would not
that was
do that.
quite an
I
answer.
kind of see you as a minion.
Mm.
Well, thank you, Tigger. I kind of see you as a togger, but we're not trying to be mean today, are we? Do we want to explain to the listening audience why sometimes you are Tiggle and sometimes you are Togger?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is it sort of like sometimes I call her Relly Bird or Cinderella? I don't think so. It's probably
when
not.
She's nice, she's Tiggle.
Mm-hmm.
When she's nasty and demeaning toward Pomeranian, she's Togger.
Togger. Okay. It's kind of funny. I've never known Tigger to be even mean towards Pomeranians. So this is probably quite a story. And when I mean quite a story, I mean rude. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Well,
I'm happy to provide evidence at any time to support my claims.
awesome. Okay, well, thanks, Hetty.
Thanks, Hetty.
Speak
Bye,
with you as
Hetty.
always.
Thank you for your
Bye-bye.
insight. I feel so special. And now it's time for the breed of the show.
We are now at the breed of the show portion of our program, and we are on a rabbit trail. Sorry. Easter's coming up. Come on, guys, help me. So, I'm learning about rabbits as I'm doing all of this, and there's not a lot of things that are different about rabbits that I've been finding. I'm sure if rabbit lovers are listening and there are different things that I'm not aware of. I will learn as I go. But a lot of them have, you feed similar foods. It's not like, in the breeds of dogs, that stuff seems to be different. So I've chosen the mini Rex. And would you girls like to know why I've chosen the mini Rex?
Yes.
I put in the breed that likes to be held. I wanted it to be an indoor thing, and this came up, and it just tickled me to death. So it's a mini Rex. They, again, are cute and adorable and small. This is another nice little sideline. They were created in Texas in 1984. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could just create a rabbit. Whole lot into that history, which we're not going to do today. But they are small. They have a very plush coat. It's lustrous in appearance. So apparently it's very dense. They get into descriptions of it like it has a springy resistance, which just sounds plush and adorable, right?
Springy resistance.
It's true. This is true. I mean, I thought lustrous appearance was good, but yes. And they're again very adorable. Lots of fun colors. There's like chinchilla, Himalayan, smoke, pearl, sable, silver martin. Isn't silver martin that little bug? But anyway, we're not going to go with that. They are approximately 3.5 to 4.5 pounds.
Wow, they are little.
No, they're tiny little things. But they're extremely popular, and they're a good indoor rabbit because why? They're easy to hold. And apparently, I guess they're a much calmer breed, but kind of how fun is that? But they're curious, and like I said, they were calm. So because of their springy resistant coat, they make a very good indoor pet. However, they do shed, but I don't think they probably come out like little cotton balls, which can be used, right? They do produce a lot less dander than your typical rabbit. And like I said, they're super indoor pets. And basically, this is the description in a sentence is that the Rex epitomizes excellent qualities for a family-friendly rabbit. I don't know. Come on.
I think we should all get one.
I know, Tig. This could be dangerous. I'm just saying.
It's a pocket pet.
It's a pocket pet. Yeah. I don't know. This could be fun. I'm just saying. But they just look like little cotton balls. They're just adorable. 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. Now, what I need to do is one of my old working students, and we'll have to get her on as a guest at some point. She actually breeds and shows rabbits, so there's a whole other, there's just a whole other thing to this that we can find out more. But for just a family, the epitome of the qualities for a family-friendly rabbit, we're going to suggest the mini Rex.
And now we're at Critter Nutrition, and I'm going to talk about ethics and transparency. At Biostar, we are asked lots of questions by horse and dog owners. It's an important part of working for Biostar to welcome the opportunity to answer questions. And if we don't know the answer right away, we'll find out. My job as a formulator requires asking lots and lots of my own questions when we evaluate a new supplier or when researching a new ingredient. Before I even bring an ingredient in for testing, I need to know where it is grown, how it is grown, and what certification it carries, non-GMO or organic or pesticide herbicide free. I need to see the COA, Certificate of Analysis, which not only includes the basic protein, fat, fiber, starch content, but also complete profiles for amino acids and macro minerals, including the heavy metals, which could be toxic, such as lead, arsenic, mercury, and cadmium. Some producers don't test for the heavy metals, and so we have to turn them down as a supplier for Biostar. With ingredients like oils, I need to know how they are processed: high heat solvent extraction, cold pressed, or expeller pressed. Biostar will not use any oils that are produced by high heat solvent extraction or have been expeller pressed. Solvent extraction oils and expeller pressed oils are brought to temperatures so high that many of the nutrients in the oil are denatured in the process. I'm also a consumer, and I know that not every supplement and feed company has the same standards for raw material that Biostar has. Sometimes the label will give an indication of what specific ingredients a company uses, but sometimes I have to call a company to get more information, and sometimes I'm quite shocked by a company's resistance to being transparent. Organic and non-GMO. Some companies make non-GMO claims, but when pressed for certification, can't provide it. Biostar has been through non-GMO certification, which is a lengthy process and requires that every single ingredient be traceable from farm to table. An uncertified non-GMO crop could have been contaminated in the field by a neighboring farmer's GMO soy whose pollen blew on the wind, or have been contaminated in the mills or during shipping. That's why certification is so important. It holds everyone in the non-GMO food chain accountable every step of the way. Some companies make non-GMO claims about foods that have historically never been genetically modified. So while true in one sense, the claims are also misleading. Organic is not just a marketing term, but reflects a real difference in how food is grown versus conventional and non-GMO methods. Organic certification ensures that no glyphosate, Roundup, 2,4-D, or dicambia herbicide has been used, as well as no genetically modified organisms or seeds. Farming for organic certification means improving soil health by increasing richness of the soil microbiota and micronutrients. Methods of achieving this include crop rotation, cover cropping, reduced tillage, increased plant biodiversity, and application of compost. With conventional and non-organic, non-GMO farming, there are no requirements for soil health. The seeds can still be grown with chemical fertilizers. Glyphosate, 2,4-D, and dicambia can be used, as well as other herbicides and pesticides. Remember that non-GMO does not mean glyphosate-free. I'm often asked by customers about various commercial feeds and supplements made by other companies. I really respect supplement and feed companies that include their ingredients along with the guaranteed analysis on their websites. I may not personally agree with their ingredient choices, but they aren't just making marketing claims with a basic guaranteed analysis without showing the consumer exactly what is in their products. Whether it's for a horse, human, or pet, if a company isn't willing to list their ingredients on their website, I won't buy from them. I don't think we consumers ask enough questions of the companies we buy from. I think we all too easily accept marketing claims, and I'm as guilty of this as anyone. I can get sucked into a marketing claim faster than lint into a vacuum cleaner. But as consumers, it's important to ask questions of the companies we buy from. One customer told me recently that her hay farmer said he was getting tired of being asked about the nutritional quality of his hay. He was now getting his hay analyzed so that he could just text or email the results to his customers. I call that a big win. Not long ago, a company contacted me about their plant-based digestive enzymes. There was plenty of marketing in their email and on their website showing really high enzymatic activity. So I asked for a certificate of analysis. After the certificate arrived, I still needed more information, so I called the company. It took getting through the sales department and falling to the technical science department to find out what I needed to know. These plant enzymes were derived from soy and not organic soy. Absolutely unacceptable for Biostar. Whole fruit powders. Commonly found in whole food supplements for humans, fruit powders are now being incorporated into more equine and canine supplements. While whole fruit powders do add flavor, they also supply important nutritional components, fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that fruit flavorings do not. Flavorings are primarily created by several big fragrance companies in France, and 99% of them are pure chemical concoctions. Solvents, emulsifiers, flavor modifiers, and preservatives can make up 80% of the mixture. Even natural flavors does not mean only one flavor source. It can have anywhere from 50 to 200 ingredients. There are two basic ways to preserve fruits for supplements and feed: drum drying and freeze drying. Spray drying is not commonly used with fruits and vegetables. That's a process used mostly for molasses, rice protein, honey, etc. Drum drying is generally done at low temperatures, but requires an additive, maltodextrin, which is a stabilizer, sweetener, thickener made from corn, wheat, tapioca, potatoes, or rice. In the U.S., it is commonly obtained from GMO corn. Maltodextrin is easily digestible and can be absorbed as rapidly as glucose. Drum-dried fruits can contain 1 to 5% maltodextrin. Freeze drying takes frozen fruits or vegetables and dehydrates them using a refrigerated vacuum system. No additives are required. The cell structures remain intact, as does the color, shape, nutritional components, and flavor. Freeze drying is considered the gold standard for retaining the nutritional values of the fruits or vegetables. It is also significantly more expensive. Companies are not required to label fruit and vegetable powders with the process by which they were created. So without contacting the company, the consumer has no idea which form of fruit powder is a supplement. Biostar only uses freeze-dried fruit and vegetable powders. My personal rule of thumb: it is a bit of a pain, but not accepting label claims on faith is becoming more and more important. My basic rule of thumb is earn my trust. And by that I mean transparency. If I have to dig like a dog to get answers, it's probably not a company I will do business with. Plenty of companies in our industry may not use the same quality ingredients that Biostar does, but I still have a great respect for them when they're honest about it, as this speaks to their basic ethics. We consumers deserve choices, and we deserve honest answers.
Real horses and real dogs are healthier, perform better, and recover more quickly on real food. That's why Biostar empowers horse and canine owners with 100% whole food nutrition, supplements, and feeding programs. Biostar products are made at their own certified non-GMO facility in Gordonsville, Virginia, using real fruit ingredients that are raw, freeze-dried, or dehydrated, never cooked, and are free from artificial flavors, colors, soy, corn, wheat, and molasses. The Biostar product line includes a wide range of whole food, horse and dog supplements, treats, and unique artisan poultices that embrace the ancient and traditional uses of clay and plants. Visit biostarus.com today and learn about whole foods and canine and equine nutrition so you can make the best decisions about the care and health of your horses and dogs. That's biostarus.com. Whole food nutrition the way nature intended.
Well, we thought it'd be fun in Coffee Klatch to talk about, what kind of vehicle is our dog, which does sound like a strange title, admittedly. But I started thinking about this just because I'm strange. Actually, from seeing a big Newfoundland in the Wellington Dog Park, and I thought, wow, that dog is like a big truck. And then I started looking around at all the other dogs and thinking, oh, well, that could be a VW, and that could be. So I thought it would be fun. So, Patty, you have a couple of different breeds. What vehicles do your dogs remind you of?
Okay, well, I went a little bit of a different route. I did.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. Well, I didn't do what my dogs. Well, okay, I did, but I'll start with the one dog I have. I went with my French bulldogs. Remind me of the Ford Pinto. Right?
No, I don't see that at all.
Well, because remember, the gas tank was in the back, and they're very flirtatious little dogs, and I just keep thinking, I don't know, I just kept thinking about the gas tank being in the back. They're kind of blocky, they're gassy. I don't know. I just thought that was a good correlation between the two. Because if you what people don't know is years ago, there was a certain model of I guess it was all Ford Pintos, but if you hit them in the back, they would blow up. You don't get it at all? The relevance in that? No?
Exploding rear. No.
Farty dogs. No. Anyway, okay, that was that.
It's only for some people. Not everyone's going to get that one.
Yeah. Okay. You got to have.
I think of them as being muscle cars.
The Ford Pinto or the dog?
The dog, not the Ford Pinto.
Oh, well, I was like, wait, because I was like, Tigger, what kind of Ford Pinto did you have?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Ford Pinto was a lot of things, but muscle car would never be described in a Ford Pinto.
No, I was thinking more of a Mustang, Mach 1 or whatever they used to call her, Shelby, or as a souped up Mustang muscle car, Camaro, because they're muscular little
bricks.
Dogs, and
they're just bricks.
They're not Corvettes. They're not.
They are not Corvettes. That is true.
But it just made me think of sort of a boxy but rather sporty muscle car.
I guess I was I slept with both of them last night. And I was just thinking gassy little cars. So that was okay, Tig, you're next.
Well, I think Australian Shepherds are the Subaru Outbacks of the dog world.
That is so funny.
Not just because I drive a Subaru, but they're just, they'll go anywhere, they'll do anything. They're not high maintenance like a Subaru, and they're sporty in terms of, let's go hiking and let's do this and that.
I'm feeling I'm feeling it. Yeah.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Yeah, I am.
They're like small SUVs, but just not big, powerful ones. Like
but they're small and agile and and approachable.
Yes, yes,
yeah, I like it.
Jennifer, how about the Greyhound?
I thought a lot about this, and the Greyhound is an Alfa Romeo.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is classic design. It's beautiful, elegant, but powerful.
But breaks down often.
Exactly.
That's really good.
It's very fussy about how it's cared for. It's likely not to want to get up in the morning. Needs a nice warm garage at night. Precisely, because it's Italian.
It sounds like an Aston Martin. See,
Aston Martins aren't quite as finicky as the Alfa Romeo.
Temperamental.
Okay.
Yeah. See, an Aston Martin is probably going to be your Italian Greyhound, despite the name, because they're a little bit less.
It's so funny.
Pussy.
That's exactly what when I wrote down Aston Martin, I was thinking that would be an Italian Greyhound.
Absolutely.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, you go. And I thought one up for Pomeranian too.
I did too.
Let's all compare our Pomeranians.
You want me to go? I'm going to be killed by Hedwig.
Well, Hedwig doesn't listen to the show. We're okay.
If you hear about a murder, I'm in Wellington in this rental house.
Yes,
I've been murdered by a Pomeranian named Hedwig.
Yeah,
by a chippy.
Yeah. Can they make knives out of cheese? It's just a question.
I said an old VW bug.
An old, not a new one, an old one.
No, old one. Has to be old, like vintage.
Wow. Yeah, you're going to get in trouble. Yeah. I think that Hedwig would be a smart car. Efficient, smart car. You know those little smart cars?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Efficient.
Yeah, smart. Moves around. Can get in and
batteries
out
run low, and then he just goes foot.
Yeah, likes to be serviced a lot by people.
Yeah,
servants. Yeah,
has toxic parts. Sure,
didn't know that. I don't know enough about cars, obviously. What do you think a Pomeranian would be?
Well, I think the Pomeranian is the Fiat Panda. Again, we're going Italian. The Fiat Panda is a super duper tiny 4x4 SUV. It's like the size of a smart car. And it's zippy and fun and adorable around town, but completely useless off-road. Hello, it's a 4x4. And lousy for road trips, but it's cute.
Oh, that's good.
It's very, very cute because it's a really good idea on paper, this tiny, zippy 4x4. But as it turns out, it's not worth nothing but cute. And all of your friends who are not car people will fawn over it because it's cute.
Cute.
Well, my alternative to the old VW Bug, knowing how high maintenance chippies could be, was like a 2-seater Mercedes convertible.
Oh.
Ooh, yes.
Oh.
Yes. Mercedes.
Yep.
Maintenance.
Yeah.
Unpredictable.
Big, and expensive.
And
to
expensive. Every time you take him to the car doctor, it costs you a fortune.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
That's good.
So what dog breeds do we think would be, like a Camry or, just a nice sedan, normal sedan?
A Camry's going to be a Labrador. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Really?
I was
think,
thinking
yeah.
boxer, but I guess not.
Yeah. Now, see if it like a Maxima. That's going to be a boxer. A
Oh, good
sedan,
point.
but a little bit more
Yeah.
muscly.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. What? Because we mentioned this earlier. Gremlin. What dog would be a gremlin? I was thinking like a pug.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. At first glance, it's an aberration of nature at first glance.
Yes,
And then once you
yes.
hug it, you go, oh, but it's funky looking, but it's so cute.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah. You get in a certain situation, you're like, yeah, okay, it works. I'm good.
Okay, how about like a big Ford Explorer?
What about a Dodge
Toyota
Ram?
Highlander?
What about a Dodge Ram, one of those big trucks? But Dodge Ram.
That's going to be a
Great Dane.
Great Day. What about like one of those, the big, like a Mastiff?
I think a Mastiff might be a Dodge truck. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the right place. Mm-hmm.
And
A
like
diesel.
a diesel.
A
Yeah.
diesel.
Yeah. A dually.
Yeah, it's a dually.
A
It's a
dually.
dually. Oh, that's
What
so
would be the Ferrari of the dog world? Oh, Whip it. Yeah.
Ferrari. Like Whip It or a Saluki.
I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Or
gonna say
the Borzoi.
the
I'm gonna say a
Borzoi,
Pharaoh
yeah.
Hound.
Oh, Pharaoh.
Or
Yeah.
the Pharaoh Hound.
Because
Now, what would an old English sheepdog be? A Rambler.
A Rambler. Or I was going to
Rambler.
say, or an old,
a Nash?
an old VW
A Nash,
van.
yes.
Yeah. Or like, remember those old VW vans?
Yes, a Vanagon.
Oh, love
Vanagon.
them. Have lots
Yeah.
of adventures in those. But that will remain a secret.
Yeah. Not really, Tigger.
Terriers.
Terriers.
What would a Jack Russell car be?
That's what I keep thinking. Sort of like
Mini Cooper S.
Yes.
Mini. Oh, that's perfect.
Yes. That's perfect.
Or the alternative, if it's not a Mini Cooper S, if it's the tall version of the Jack Russell Terrier, it's going to be a Corvair.
Oh, my
Of course,
God.
there.
Only our listeners of a certain age will understand that one.
Yes.
Deadly at any.
And what would be a Land Rover? Who would be a Land Rover?
What's the Rhodesian Ridgeback?
Yeah, I
Huh.
can see that. Yeah, I was gonna say a curly coated retriever, but it's the same kind of family, I think. Yeah. Classy, but not uppity. Yeah.
How about a Basset Hound? What would they drive?
A Basset Hound. Oh, a Basset Hound's gonna be a Juke.
A what?
A Juke. A Nissan,
So like
a Nissan Juke. It's that car that you see driving around. It's kind of an SUV, and it looks like it has a big nose like Jimmy Durante.
I have not seen one of those.
You have. You just didn't realize
No.
it.
I don't think so.
It's got this funky looking hood, and the wheel wells of the front wheels are huge, and they stick out over the top line of the hood in the front. Yeah, look it up, and you'll say, "Oh, yeah, Basset Hound."
What have you been drinking?
Yeah, I was gonna. She's on it.
I was thinking, that I can't a Chrysler, I think, that made that sort of. It was a couple of years ago. What did they call that? It was a funky looking car, and it was really popular.
Which one was it?
I need more words than that.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, it was a Chrysler.
It was a Cruiser. The
PT
Chrysler.
Cruiser.
Yes,
the
for a Basset Hound.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, let us know what your dog, what vehicle your dog reminds us of.
Or what dog your vehicle reminds you of.
Yeah.
And go to healthycritters.com and let us know.
And where can they go on the Facebook?
Healthy Critters Radio.
There we go. No, it's not. It's not .com. It's on Facebook. It's just Healthy Critters Radio.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks to our sponsor, Biostar US. You can find them online at biostarus.com.
Get the Horse Radio Network phone app on iOS or Android by searching for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and easy to use.
For details about today's show, go to healthycrittersradio.com, where you can find links, photos, and more information about our guests.
As always, we love your feedback. Please follow us on Facebook under Healthy Critters Radio.
Be sure to visit all the great shows on Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Love your dog.
Hug your horse.
Feed your chickens.
Clean your litter box.
Dance with your goat.
Slither with your snakes.
Howl at the moon.
Hang with your hamster.
Party with your parrot.
Waddle with your walrus.
Outwit your otter.
Cuddle your cows.
Rap with your raptor.
Go chipping with your chipmunks.
Forgive your fox.
While hedging your hog.
We also recommend that you rack with your raccoon.
Gyrate with your giraffe.
Meditate with a meerkat.
Uber with your orangutan.
Facebook with your flamingo.
Ponder with your panda.
Walk with your Wookie.
Yawn with your yak.
Twitter with your toucan.
Go raining with your reindeer.
Dropbox your dragon.